The sun hung low over the rugged hills of Afghanistan, casting long shadows that stretched like weary fingers across the dusty valley. It was 2025, 12 years after the big withdrawal, but echoes of the old war still lingered in places like this. Sergeant John Hayes wiped the sweat from his brow, his boots crunching softly on the gravel path. He led a small patrol of 4 soldiers, young men mostly, fresh from training back home in Texas. They were on a routine mission: scout the area, check for any signs of unrest, and head back to base before nightfall. John was 42 now, with lines etched deep into his face from years of service. He missed his family, his wife Sarah and their 2 kids in Oklahoma, but duty called, and he answered. The air was thick and still, carrying the faint scent of dry earth and distant pine. Birds called faintly from the cliffs above, their songs a rare comfort in this harsh land. John paused, adjusting the strap of his rifle. "Keep it tight, boys," he said in a low, steady voice. His team nodded to Private Ramirez, with his quick smile Corporal Ellis, always watchful, and Specialist Thompson, the radio guy, fiddling with his equipment. They moved slowly, each step deliberate, as if the ground itself might shift beneath them. As the afternoon wore on, a strange fog began to roll in from the mountains. It started as a thin mist, swirling around their ankles like curious smoke, but soon it thickened, blanketing the valley in a white haze that muffled sounds and blurred the world. John held up a hand, signaling a halt. "Visibility's dropping fast," he murmured. The men gathered close, their breaths visible in the cooling air. Thompson tried the radio, twisting knobs with growing frustration. "Base, this is Patrol Echo. Do you copy?" "Over." Static crackled back, harsh and unyielding. No response. The problem hit them like a slow-building wave. They were lost. The GPS on their devices flickered erratically, the fog playing tricks with the signals. Maps were useless in this soup. Landmarks vanished into the white void. John felt a knot tighten in his stomach, and not fear, not yet, but a deep unease. He'd been in tight spots before, but this felt different. The valley was known for its treacherous paths, riddled with old minefields from decades of conflict. One wrong turn could end them all. "We need to find higher ground," John said calmly, though his heart beat a little faster. "Stay together, no rushing." They pressed on, steps cautious and measured. The fog wrapped around them like a living thing, dampening their clothes and chilling their skin. Ramirez stumbled once, catching himself on Ellis's arm. "This stuff's thicker than my grandma's stew," he joked weakly, trying to lighten the mood. But the laughter was short, fading into the silence. Hours seemed to pass in minutes, or maybe it was the other way around. Time blurred in the mist. Thompson kept trying the radio, his voice growing hoarse. "Base, Patrol Echo. We're disoriented in fog, requesting guidance." "Over." More static. "Nothing." Night crept in slowly, the fog turning a ghostly gray under the emerging stars. They huddled in a small clearing, rifles at the ready, sharing meager rations. John sat with his back against a rock, staring into the white wall that surrounded them. He thought of home, of the warm kitchen light, Sarah's laugh, the kids' bedtime stories. Why did missions like this always pull him away? It was relatable, this pull between duty and family. Every soldier felt it, a quiet ache that never fully went away. "We'll make it out," John whispered to himself, more for reassurance than anything. Then, as the moon rose pale and distant, something changed. Thompson's radio hissed to life, not with the expected bass chatter, but with a soft, clear voice. A woman's voice, calm and steady, like a gentle breeze cutting through the fog. "Patrol Echo, this is Guidepost. I see you. Head northeast 20 degrees. There's a ridge ahead, climb it slow." The men froze, eyes wide. Thompson stared at the radio as if it had bitten him. Who is that?" he stammered. John leaned in, his pulse quickening. "Identify yourself." "Guidepost, this is Sergeant Hayes." "Over." The voice returned, unhurried, with a faint American accent, a Midwestern, maybe, warm like summer fields. "No time for questions now, Sergeant. The fog's tricky here." "Northeast, 20 degrees. Watch for loose rocks on the left." They exchanged glances, confusion mixing with hope. Who was she? No one at base used that call sign, but the directions felt right, instinctive. John nodded slowly. "All right, let's move." "Stay alert." They followed the voice's guidance, step by step. It spoke in measured tones, pausing naturally, as if knowing they needed time to process. Good pace. You're doing fine. Turn east now, 10 degrees. There's a stream below. Avoid it. It's deeper than it looks. As they climbed the ridge, the fog began to thin just a bit, revealing jagged outlines of rocks. The voice continued, describing the terrain with eerie precision. You've got about 100 yards to the top. Rest if you need, but not too long. Night creatures stir here, Thompson whispered to John. Sarge, this ain't base. Signals coming from, I don't know where. John felt a chill, not from the cold, but from something deeper. The voice was familiar, like a half-remembered dream. They reached the ridge's crest, the fog parting enough to show a faint path downward. The voice guided them along it, her words building a quiet trust. You're halfway home, boys. Keep it steady. In the pauses between instructions, John found himself wondering about her. She sounded young, confident, like someone who'd seen her share of valleys like this. Ramirez asked quietly, think it's a prank? Some hacker? Ellis shook his head. Nah, feels too real. The gentle twist came as they descended, the voice sharing more than directions. I know this place well, she said softly. Lost a patrol here once, 12 years back. Fog like this swallowed them whole. John's mind raced. 12 years? That rang a bell at the infamous incident in 2013. During the height of operations, a female officer, Captain Emily Reed, had led a team into this very valley. They were ambushed, then hit by a storm. She was declared Kia. Body never recovered. Her voice had been recorded in briefings. John had heard clips during training. Could it be Captain Reed? John ventured into the radio, his voice barely above a whisper. A long pause followed, the static humming like held breath. Then, that's a name I haven't heard in a while, Sergeant. But yes, Emily Reed. Kia, or so they said. The men stopped, breath catching. Thompson's hands trembled on the radio. But how? You're? The voice returned, gentle, almost sad. Doesn't matter now, just keep moving. South-southeast, 15 degrees. Base lights will show soon. Emotion swelled in the group, slow and deep, like a river rising. John pictured Hira Emily Reed, a legend in the ranks. She'd been 28, sharp-minded, with a reputation for getting her people home. Her last transmission had been a calm report before everything went silent. Now, here she was, or her echo, guiding them through the same fog that claimed her. Why us? John asked, voice thick. Why now? Another pause, the night wind whispering around them. Because I couldn't save mine, but I can save yours. Family's waiting, Sergeant. Sarah and the kids, they need you. John's eyes stung. How did she know? The atmosphere thickened with unspoken grief, the fog of veil between worlds. They moved on, her voice a lifeline, describing every turn, every hazard. Watch the drop-off to your right. Easy now. The emotional depth built gradually. Ramirez thinking of his own sister back in California, Ellis of lost friends, Thompson of doubts he buried. Emily's presence felt real, comforting, like a hand on the shoulder. As dawn's first light pierced the horizon, the fog lifted fully, revealing the base in the distance, yet twinkling lights like welcoming stars. You're clear now, Emily said, her tone satisfied, fading slightly. Go home, boys. And remember, sometimes the lost find their way back. The radio went silent, static returning like a door closing. They reached base by morning, exhausted but alive. Reports were filed, questions asked, Tex checked the radio and no anomalies, no signals traced. But John knew. He visited the memorial wall later that day, fingers tracing Emily Reed's name. Kia, 2013. A photo showed her smiling, eyes bright. Thank you, he whispered. Years later, John retired to Oklahoma, telling the story to his grandkids on quiet evenings. It wasn't about ghosts or miracles, but about connection, how voices from the past could guide the living, bridging the gap between loss and hope. The patrol had found more than a way home. They'd found peace in the echo of a hero's unresolved duty, and in that, the ending felt grounded, emotional, complete.